federal process.
Yeah.
And it's getting people really thinking. Like, I've met so many people who really believe that, oh, if St. Nicholas does it, the feds are paying it. Why are we paying out of our own pocket? It's just ridiculous.
But you know what that is? It's his lack of accessibility to and transparency. So what that does is it puts power. He says fewer things, engages fewer times, so each word is more powerful. So when he says, "Oh, federal process," I just think it's so ironic that he doesn't consider himself a local politician. Like, he talks about local leaders, and he's not talking about himself.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's
and
kind of
also
a
that removes
crazy
local
insight.
accountability.
Yeah.
Because if you see yourself as a local leader, you're going to be more accessible to your community, not just the members of your community you choose to respond to through social media,
Right.
but legitimately, be present for your community. And if you were, then again, this conversation would be very different. It's like, okay, the reality is daily, almost every day, we see war survivors who do pass on. And if we're going to pay it anyway, and there's a local effort to try to at least give those that are going to be able to see this in their lifetime a chance, then let's work together and let's not bicker over when we use our own money to pay war reparations.
Well, Mike needs this win, though. They're coming after Mike in this next election.
But I don't think they need to. I think that we're looking at a guy who's dead in the water. I hate to say it, but I mean, he's the second worst voting record in the House. Only one bill made it out of committee. I mean, all these bills about taking power away from the local government. I mean, who's got to get these bills out of committee? These are people who are representing the territories.
And that's why he needs the war
They're looking at
claims.
Mike like, what the hell's your problem? And so that's why these bills haven't gotten anywhere.
I
and
don't-
so we've got the ethics investigation. So I really think that it's a very carefully crafted house of cards that he's
Well,
doing.
Because,
the one thing that I could say about politics, and I think almost everyone here can attest, including yourself, because you were actually in there. People always talk about, what if the election was tomorrow?
Right.
What if the election was tomorrow? We're sitting here on January 27th.
Yeah, it's not tomorrow.
It's not tomorrow.
It's not tomorrow.
And
yeah.
one thing history has
Too bad.
proven is that what happens in January
Right.
is completely different from what happens in August
Yeah.
as well as in November. In fact,
Right.
whatever happens in August definitely flips when whatever happens in the month of
Oh,
November.
I'm sure he was thinking he could get this passed by the summertime and have something nice
Sure.
and sweet and tangible he could run on
Sure.
for re-election.
Well,
Yeah,
so
because
this
even-
really puts a cramp in his
I think
style.
that-
Is
but I
it
think
still
for
a
the
win
most
if
part-
he gets?
No, but I think for the most part,
It's a win for whoever gets money into somebody's pans.
Exactly.
That's that brass tacks. That's what the people
Right.
care about. Whoever
Yeah.
gets the first check, they win this.
yeah, it's an emotional win, obviously.
Yeah.
It is, yeah.
I mean, no matter how much we want to say this shouldn't be a politicized issue, let's
Of
be
course
really
it is,
honest here.
right,
It's been
yeah.
heavily politicized.
Yeah.
Those pictures on social media and,
But
and
I
all
think
the
we're
postings
in this
were
game of
very
chicken.
political.
In this game of chicken where the congressman went wrong is, I think he forgot that the governor has the authority to cut checks and to make this happen. And I mean, that's what she did.
But
Yeah, and I feel bad that it got politicized on both ends.
Yeah.
Right? I feel I had no interest in any of that, and honestly, it doesn't make a difference to me. It's not going to sway my vote. Whoever got the check out faster.
And didn't you
Personally.
introduce something in the last legislature about the process of where the money was coming from?
Well, I
What
think
was that?
I spoke heavily about a resolution because
Sure.
when the former delegate Berdalio even came up with this idea, it was just crazy to begin with.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just
Well,
so
and then
out
they,
there.
They tried to excuse it by saying it would be a placeholder and that they were being guaranteed behind the scenes that it would be paid for by a different
which
funding
is just-
source. But
just
we
crap.
all knew that would never
Yeah,
happen.
we knew it would never happen. Yeah, the
But
writing
it
was on the wall.
Yeah, it's a very manipulative way of creating an issue that truly, again, is not justice, but making it difficult for any of us to have a real conversation about it because it involves people we love and one of the greatest tragedies of our recent history. So, I think that kind of bickering about it and using this even as what wins or doesn't win an election, again, is indicative of our overall powerlessness. We need to have deeper conversations as a community about, well, hey, this isn't wrong, and instead of fighting with each other, we need to be holding
Always
the
bring it
federal
to
government
decolonization.
accountable.
I
The
gotta
federal
tell you.
government needs to be
Stay
held
on
accountable.
I said
You
it.
know?
I said it years ago when that first came out. I said if we are paying this with our own money,
Right. Yeah.
let's just pay it.
Yeah.
What are we now? We know. Now
That
we
this
know
is what
what
we
the
have to
final
do.
answer is. Guam, you pay yourself your reparations with your
Right.
money. If we knew that was the final answer,
Should've
we
done it a
we
long
could have
time
been
ago.
cutting checks
Oh,
years
God,
ago.
totally.
And it was just a nightmare. And I said it, and I'll keep saying, we will be the only people in the history of mankind to have the shame of paying ourselves for our reparation.
But
The
you're
only
saying we're
people-
first in something.
We're first.
Yeah,
No, but
first
you know
in
what?
something.
That's not our shame, though. That's the U.S.
But you know what?
government.
Though?
Right,
We
totally,
should
yeah.
we should wear that badge of shame with honor
Right.
to really highlight our current situation and how we're looked at. It's just unbelievable.
It's crazy.
It's unbelievable.
And the
It's just
sad
as
reality
unbelievable
is
as,
that it took so long
yeah.
that if you died before December 23rd, 2016, you do not get reparations. And that was the hardest thing, helping people fill out their forms, where there were so many families that were
Yeah.
not eligible. And even because the process was cumbersome, wasn't explained well, a lot of people didn't fill out their claims, and now
Right.
they see people lining up, and they're lining up, and they're getting turned away. Or I'm getting phone calls like, "Hey, can I get my WAR claims? What, did you fill out your form?"
That's what
No.
that interview this morning
Yeah.
with Crystal felt like, as a good primer for people. Like, here's what you need before you come in. These are the
You
lines.
need
you
a
go through.
claim
Yeah.
number,
Well,
basically.
That
right?
we,
Yeah.
if we
You need a
owned
letter.
it, if we owned reparations,
Right.
we would have full flexibility to
yes,
go
To
back
determine
and
the
revisit
process.
And that's what
that.
I guess. So
Yeah.
next,
And we
um,
gave all of that up.